So this is John. He is an automatic only license holder and he wants to try manual. How are you feeling?
I'm a bit nervous. I'm probably a bit stupid to do this on camera, but I'm happy to make a fool of myself so you don't have to.
Okay, well, there's three stages to this. Firstly, I'm going to try and help you relax and get your head in the right place for this, because mostly it's about where you are in your head. Mostly it's that manual, honestly. Get that right. Manual's not that hard. Do you understand the offside rule in football?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Don't explain it to me, I don't want to.
No. I was just going to say, if you understand that rule, you have enough mental capacity to understand how to drive a manual car. It's not that hard to understand. You've got a clutch and you've got a gear stick. Do you understand tennis?
Yes.
How they score tennis?
Sort of.
Yeah, you get that, you're going to get manual. It's not very hard. What I'm trying to say, most of it is how you approach the road, how you are mentally. Actually controlling the car isn't very hard at all. And that's what manual is about, preparation and taking your time.
I mean, yeah, I learned to drive in an automatic car because I couldn't see the point in learning to drive a manual. I thought it would make it more difficult unnecessarily. But I am curious to see how difficult it actually is and whether it might be worth having a go at the test again in a manual car.
So 3 stages, get your head in the right place. Then it's how it's done. So you learn how to do it, and then it's practice. That's all it is. So you ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Let's get started. Firstly, I'm going to try and get you in a good place in your head. So when you're driving, there's pressures, aren't they? Do you feel under pressure when you drive?
Yes, you can do, yeah.
And when you're driving manual and you're trying to deal with the clutch and the gears, how is that pressure now going to affect you? It's going to affect you more, do you think, because you've got more to do?
Yeah, probably, because I'm so used to not having to mess around with gears. It's literally just stop and go in an automatic. You can...
And that right there is what will get in your way of learning a manual. Because what will happen is, your priority will be to get going. Your priority will be not be a nuisance to anyone, let's get out of the way. Whereas your priority needs to be this machine. That's what you've got to understand. I'm telling you that because until you understand that, until you actually calm down, take your time, accept that you're going to be slow, accept that you're going to be in the way as you learn. Until you accept that, you're going to struggle to learn because you're going to be doing things too quickly to learn them and you're not going to do them well. That's going to lead to frustration and that's going to make you even worse. Should we move on to the technical side of things then and how to actually do it?
Yeah,
so you've got 2 pedals down there. I'm going to start you off there so you don't have to think about it, or you can just concentrate on learning how the manual mechanism works and then sit here and then put it into practice. So you've got your left pedal there, your clutch. Can you push that down? That's your right. You might need to move your seat a bit further forward. Can you do that? That's it. So you can get that pedal down all the way. There you go. That's all the way down. Now let's move the pedal down here down. You see that? And that's because that's just attached to this.
Yeah.
The camera's on mine. It's not on yours. I can't really find a place to mount the camera there. And then bring it up. And then push it down. And I'm going to get you to use the clutch and then explain what's going on.
Okay.
So, can you push this left and forwards? That's first gear.
Yep.
And can you take the handbrake off? Do you know how to do that?
Like I said, I can already drive. I can do a handbrake, no
But
problem.
I don't know if you've had a manual handbrake before.
I do have a manual handbrake.
Yeah, because a lot of cars now are electronic button, aren't they?
What's this called?
Hula hoop. I don't know. So, what I'm going to do, let me finish this sentence and then do what I've said. Don't do it as I'm saying it, because I need to say the whole thing before you do it. You're going to lift the clutch up slowly. When the car starts to move, hold the clutch steady. And when I put my finger up, you can come off the clutch completely. Now the reason why I'm going to put my finger up is because the engine's going to make a sound, it's going to change its tone, and I don't want to speak over that.
Okay.
So when I put my finger up, that's the sound it makes when you can release the clutch entirely. So I'm giving some power, make sure it's safe, and then when you want, slowly lift the clutch. When the car starts moving, hold it steady. So hold it down, listen. Did you hear that?
I can hear an engine.
Come off the clutch. It made a difference.
Come off the clutch.
It's done. The engine sound changed.
It did change. It was higher pitch.
And it sort of changed, went down and up. That's usually what it does when the clutch is finished sinking. So now we're going to stop, but we're going to stall the car.
Okay.
To show you what's going on here. You see this? This is your wheels, and this is your engine.
Yeah.
So if you look at those dials and press the brake, that's it, press it harder, you're stopping the wheels and you've stopped the engine as well. Yeah? So you can come off the brake now, this is my brake, and relax. And the reason why that's happened is because the clutch is up.
Yes.
And what's happened is the brakes act on the wheels, so you've stopped the wheels, and because the clutch is up, the wheels and the engine are connected.
Yeah, yeah.
So you stop the wheels.
You stop the engine.
So how do you think you're going to stop the wheels without stalling the car?
Use the clutch to disengage the wheels from the engine.
You got it. So you have to push the clutch down. And you have to push the clutch down by the time the engine reaches its minimum.
Yep.
Because there's a minimum speed an engine can spin at. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the clutch down, put it into neutral, and to secure the car and restart the engine. You see now the engine's running. See that there?
Mm-hmm.
And that is the minimum speed the engine can spin at, what it is at the moment, which is about 700 turns a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
That 10 actually means 1,000. Mm-hmm. It's quite fast, about 11 or so times a second. If you force it to go slower than that, it's going to struggle. And in this car, when it gets to about 400 or 500, it stalls. So clutch down by that point and you won't have a problem stopping the wheels.
Okay.
So we're going to try and get that sound again. So if you push the clutch down, select first gear, take the handbrake off. Good. I'm going to give you some gas. When no one's coming, find the bite point and try and hear that sound when I put my finger up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go when you're ready. I'm giving you power now. Okay, so we're moving. Listen. Hear that?
Maybe.
Going up in pitch. Come off, it's done. Usually what happens is the engine goes sort of down in pitch a little bit, then starts to go up in pitch. Or sometimes you give it like a perfectly smooth start. If it's perfectly smooth, it just starts going up in pitch. So I'll get round here, because the engine's getting a little bit noisy, isn't it? I want to change up at around about 2,000 revs for sedate driving in this car.
Yeah.
So cover the clutch, and when I say so, I want you to press the clutch down as quickly as you can. Then I'm going to come off the gas, and you can hold the gear stick left and pull it back to second.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
So clutch down, snap it down now, hold it left into second, and then bring the clutch up carefully. There you go, and then I can add power again. Now you're off the clutch. When it comes to lifting the clutch up after a gear change, you still probably want to pause very briefly at the bite point when you feel a connection, just to let it be smooth.
Okay.
Usually feel the car just sort of slow down slightly, or if you're giving a little bit of gas, you might hear the revs change a little bit. But at first, I advise changing up gears without using gas at all.
Right, okay.
You might slow down a bit, but you'll find it easier to learn.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
can't
then-
say I felt anything when I lifted it up.
Oh, we'll try that again then. So get around this bend, and we'll just try lifting the clutch up. We won't actually change gears, just try lifting it up. So get to that speed again. Now press the clutch down. Now lift it carefully, feel the car. Feel that connection? And now come off.
Oh yeah, maybe. Right.
Yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what you've got to do. You've got to listen and feel the car when you're doing manual. You feel it speed up, you feel it slow down, and you hear the engine sound. So do it again, clutch down, and then just as you feel that connection, when it starts to slow, pause for a bit. So lift it, pause, and now off. You see that was smoother that time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what you get better at is you get better at sensing that connection and pausing earlier so that you don't make it jerk
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much.
It's quite subtle though, isn't it? Yeah.
However, this time if you push the clutch down,
Yeah.
I'm going to give a wee bit of gas. Now lift the clutch. You come up. Didn't feel anything, did you?
No.
And that's because I had the gas pretty much exactly where it needed to be. But you're not going to get that. So don't worry about that at this stage. Just trying to get you to move, stop smoothly, relatively smoothly and safely. Okay, so this time you're going to stop the car in first gear again, but we're not going to stall.
Right.
So cover the brake and clutch. Okay, we're slowing down. Now the car's starting to pull us along at this minimum speed, so at the minimum revs, clutch down, and then gently brake to finish your stop. And now you've got to keep your feet down,
Yeah, yeah.
because you're still in gear.
Yeah, and we've not put the handbrake on.
Yeah, so pull the handbrake up to come off the foot brake, and then neutral to come off the clutch. So you have a rough understanding of what's going on now?
Yes.
So you lift the clutch to the bite point when you're in gear to move away.
Yeah.
You will need gas as well.
Yeah.
You don't have to have gas, but it depends what car you're driving. If you don't have gas, you're only ever going to move away incredibly slowly.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're more likely going to stall. It's harder. And then you push the clutch down quickly. It's very, very important to push down quickly when you change gear.
Or what?
It can get a bit jerky because when you push the clutch down, you're separating the engine from the wheels. And if you don't separate them cleanly and quickly, there can be a bit of slip. And then sort of as you push it down, the car can sort of just jerk a little bit like that forwards as it's a bit of slip there. So you want to separate them quickly, clutch down quick, then up the gear. And then I advise at this stage, staying off the power. This car doesn't have a huge amount of engine braking, which makes it easier to learn manual in that respect. So as you lift the clutch up, it might slow down a tad, but that can help you feel the clutch bite point, help you know, oh, I've got to just pause there briefly and then come off.
Yeah.
You could, when you go up a gear, just get away with coming off the clutch slowly, and it will still be relatively smooth, but it won't ever be as smooth as if you really know what you're doing. And then when you get very skilled, you can sort of add a little bit of gas as you lift the clutch. And that's going to stop it slowing down at all, but then it's harder to make sure you've got that right amount of gas and the right speed of the clutch so that you are smooth.
Right, okay.
But that takes skill. I don't think we're going to do that today. With the gear stick, you're a little bit harsh. When you went to first gear, you sort of went like this. You don't need to be that harsh. So you've got left and right, and then the middle, it shows you the middle. Feel that spring? Can you do that? So that's your neutral. If you've got the spring, you're in neutral.
Yeah.
Don't do this. You might think, oh yeah, it's in neutral. It does that everywhere. All gear sticks have a little bit of play in them. You've got to actually feel the spring to know you're in neutral. Yeah. So you spring to the left, go against the spring to the left. You've got 1 and 2. It self-centers. You've got 3 and 4. Listen to that. Don't try and find the center yourself. Just let go of it and let it show you. And then you've got the right for 5 and 6. So if you can go to 1 now, that's nicer. That's better. And then hold it left and bring it back to 2. That's it. You don't have to slam it in. You can just push it in gently. And then for 3, you've got to let it show you the middle. That's it. And then 4, you've got this. Picking this up quickly. And then 5. And then 6. And then pop it to neutral. Is that neutral? And that's how you can test. So now press the gas and get it steady. See if you can keep it steady.
Where would be the optimum?
Don't look down, look out the window, that sound. It's all right. Go a bit more. Still all right. Go a bit more. It's getting a little bit loud now, that's too much. Go a little bit less. It's hard to go less without going nothing. You have to release a little bit and wait. You're looking down, listen, because you don't want to be looking at those dials when you're trying to drive. You want to look down as reference of where they are so you know what sound means what, but you're trying to learn the sound of them.
Right, okay, yeah.
So this is probably about, I'm going to go 1,300. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Ah, there you go. So 1,400. Now a little bit more. Looking down, listen. This sounds all good. All this sound is good. You don't want loud, really loud. Go more. That's too loud.
Right.
And you don't want too little.
Okie dokie.
Well, don't be too fussy with it. Just some noise there, but not roaring. And then when you're in gear, when you lift the clutch to the bite point, the car will start moving.
Mm-hmm.
Hold it until it makes that sound, and you can come off the clutch. And then we'll pull over, not far up the road.
Okay. And we're going to go past those 2 parked.
We'll go past one of them. Not sure about the second one. I can't see the second one because of my position in the car. I know there's one up there. Oh no, yeah, there's another red one. Probably past both those actually.
Right, okay, fine.
So I'll talk you through.
Yep.
Can you follow my talk through?
Yep.
So clutch down. Don't look down. First gear. Try not to look down at all. Foot on the brake and handbrake off. That's it, hands on the wheel. So now the car's ready to move. Mm-hmm. If you press the gas and lift the clutch, it will move. So get some gas ready.
Okay.
Don't lift the clutch yet, just get some gas ready.
Didn't move when I took the brake off.
No, it's not on a hill. We're purposefully here so it doesn't roll.
Nice.
Hill starts for another thing. And then when no one's coming, you think it's safe and your blind spot is clear, you can lift the clutch to that bite point and we will move. Hold it. Listen. Oh, you didn't wait. You didn't wait till the engine changed its sound. That's why it was jerky. So you're off the clutch now. If you can come off the gas, please. Let the car slow. And we're going to pull over on the left, but don't do anything unless I tell you to. Just move towards the curb with the steering and stay off the gas.
Stay off the gas.
Yeah, now cover the brake and clutch. Don't press them though, just cover and line up with the curb. You got your feet steady?
Got my feet in a twist then.
So cover the brake and the clutch. That's why I want you to cover them. Because at the moment you're covering the gas and the clutch.
Yeah.
Careful, YouTube. So stop looking at that mirror, start looking where you're going. Now the car's pulling you along, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not slowing down anymore. and that's because you're at the minimum speed of the engine. This
If
is
we were
where the
going,
clutch is needed.
If we were going uphill, would we stall trying to do this?
Most likely not. Now press the clutch down and then finish the stopping with the brake.
Not very close to the curb.
Try looking forwards, because you're using the past there to judge your position, which doesn't usually work very well, because that is the past. You want to judge forwards. If you want to use your mirror, it's better going to reverse. But yeah, you can sort of judge where you are using the mirror when you're going forwards, but it's not great because you'll hit with the front when it's still a big gap at the back. So now keep your feet down as you are. Should have probably said that earlier, but you're already doing that, which is good. Pull the handbrake up to come off the foot brake. So come off the foot brake, and then neutral to come off the clutch. So when moving away there, how did that feel to you?
Other than it was absolutely fine, other than it was being really jumpy when I took my foot off the gear.
Well, firstly, you lifted the clutch quite quickly to the bite point.
Right.
You want to be a bit more gentle, so you connect the engine to the wheels more gently. And secondly, you didn't wait for the engine to make its changing sound before you released the clutch completely. So the engine was still spinning faster than the wheels when you released the clutch completely.
Yeah.
You've got to listen to that sound, be patient. And that's what I mean about learning manual. It's about taking your time. It's right now, you're not trying to get from A to B. You're not trying to drive to the shops, and you're not trying to please anyone. Your sole focus right now is learning how this works, putting it together. Do you want to try again?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
And normally we're not going to do it. When we get to about 2,000 in this car, when we're driving sedately, we'll go up the next gear. And then come off the gas again, now there's no cars. And you see the revs drop?
Yeah.
And the speed drops, it slows you down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's engine braking.
Right, okay.
And it gets down to its minimum speed, and it will pull you along, and that will do that uphill and downhill. Downhill, it's going to slow you down less quickly, and uphill, the computer's going to add a bit more gas to keep you going up the hill, but stay at 4.
If it was an old-fashioned car that couldn't add gas, it would stall if you tried to.
Maybe not. Even then, there's still some power to tick over. It depends how steep the hill is. Even in modern cars, they can struggle on hill. So cover the brake and clutch. Check your 2 mirrors here. I'll help you with position. See, it's pulling you along, isn't it? Hold the wheel, clutch down now, and gently brake to stop. So make sure you're looking forwards. So you see where the curb is bottom of the window? Yeah. See it there?
Yeah.
Handbrake up to come off the foot brake. Neutral to come off the clutch. So roughly remember where that is at the front, and that'll give you a rough guide for the curb. See? Can you see the wheel down there?
Obviously not.
Can you see the curb? No, you can't, can you?
Yeah.
So you're guessing when you park forwards. It is a guess. So get within a drain, don't try and get this far away, because you will hit every so often. Whenever I park a car, in my own car and other people's cars, I never take chances damaging their wheels on mine. I park within a drain, and then if I want to get it really close, put it in reverse, use the mirror, and zip it up.
Yeah.
So John's been practicing that for a few minutes now. I don't know how many times, done it probably 10 to 15 times, and you're actually picking it up very smoothly and quickly. Although you are getting a little bit confident now, and you're starting to lift the clutch a bit too quickly, and maybe sometimes not holding it quite long enough or slowly coming off it. If you slowly come off the clutch, you're just going to sometimes be jerky. It's better to pause and wait for it to finish. Take your time, don't rush. There is actually a practice exercise you can do to make yourself better at this quickly, which I'm going to get you to do now, and then we're going to move on to moving up to second gear. So firstly, we're going to do the practice exercise. We're not actually going to move anywhere. We might creep a tiny bit, but we're not going to try and move up the road. We want to stay next to this grass here. And you're going to practice finding the bite point, just so you get that muscle memory of where it is. So if you can prepare the car to move away, you probably know how to do that now, don't you? So clutch down, first gear, that's it. Foot brake on and handbrake off. And you didn't look down, only briefly. And it's good you're trying not to look down. You sort of missed the handbrake, then you look down. Okay, I'll forgive you for that, but try.
Mine's on this side of the car.
It's sensible. That's the side it should be on, isn't it? But this is a left-hand drive car. In some markets, they move the wheel. They don't move the handbrakes. You have the cup holders in the way of your handbrake. Anyway, so we're not going to move. Just get some gas. Have the gas on. And again, wait until I finish the sentence. You'll lift the clutch till you feel the bite point, also known as the kiss point. That's when the car starts to move, and then push it down straight away again. Try and do it smoothly. If you can do it now.
So just until it starts moving. Then
Tiny bit. Barely at all. You just want to feel the connection. Clutch down straight away. There you go. See? Do that again. I'll make sure it's safe. You just worry about that. Clutch down quickly so we don't run out of space. As soon as you feel it connect, clutch down. That's it. And again. Clutch down again. Do it again. That's it, keep practicing, do it 5 times. Did that help you at all?
Yeah, it did. There's definitely like an ooh noise that it makes when you, yeah.
You've got to listen to it, and you can, gives you that muscle memory of where it is. So to change to second gear, you're going to snap the clutch down very quickly, and then come off the gas.
Yeah.
You can sort of do it together if you want, but it's better to get that clutch down first, really, if you want to be smooth and not slow down. The most easy way is to come off the gas entirely first and then press the clutch down. We're going to try and move on from that straight away. So we can practice that here. Press the gas a little bit, cover the clutch, snap the clutch down, and then off the gas.
And then off the gas.
Yeah, you see? So come off the clutch again, press the gas a little bit. So you're covering the clutch, you're ready for your gear change. Don't do the gear, we're practicing the pedals. Separate the pedals from the gear, very important to do that. Quick down clutch.
And off the gas.
And then off gas. Okay, too slow.
Really?
So too slow clutch down, yeah. And too slow coming off the gas afterwards. So practice that movement. Get ready. That's what we're looking for. Do it again. Come off the clutch. It's one of the only things you really do suddenly when you're driving is clutch down. Everything else is very smooth, but clutch down should be quick. You want to separate it cleanly so you don't risk any jerkiness. Whether or not you get jerkiness depends on how much gas you have and what's happening. That's it. That's what you want.
Right.
But don't try and do the gear stick at the same time. That's what a lot of new manual drivers do. They want this. It's all about the stick. It's all about the pedals. The pedals is nearly all of it. This is the easy bit. So now push the clutch down. Without looking down, put it into first. And hands on the wheel, so pretend you're driving. And keep the clutch down the entire time we're doing this. Move it to second gear.
Move it to second gear?
Yeah, but keep the clutch down. There you go, hands on the wheel. Move it to first gear. Hands on the wheel, move it to second gear. So just get a little bit of, that's it, first again. A little bit of skill in using that without looking down. And again, to second. One more time to first and then to second. And then pop it to neutral. That's it, you let it pop, good. And you can come off the clutch. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to clutch down off gas, into second, and then stay off the power. Bring the clutch up slowly. You'll feel a bit of a connection if you pause at that connection, and then you can come off. When you're going up a gear, you don't have to pause for very long. When you're moving away, you pause for a while. But there's not much difference between engine speed and gear speed or wheel speed when you're going up
once you're already
gears.
going, yeah.
Because the revs drop, and the gears mean that the gear speed drops, so they're actually meeting each other, but they're going to be slightly different, so a little pause will make it smoother. And if you're really good at driving, as I say, a tiny little bit of gas will help as well to prevent you slowing down at all.
Right, okay.
So, you ready?
Yep.
You can move away. We'll drive past these cars when we go to second. I'll still talk you through.
Past these cars and go to second.
I'll tell you when to go. I'll still talk you through doing it.
Okie dokie.
So you can move away. You've done that a few times now. I'll be quiet so you can hear the engine. That's it.
That was alright, wasn't it?
Need to wait on that bike point just a bit longer. Brushed it a little bit there. So cover the clutch, hand on the gear stick, but don't move the gear stick. So quick clutch down off gas, into second, slowly bring the clutch up, pause, come off the clutch fully, and you can add some power. You feel that connection?
Yeah, but you slowed
you've-
down quite a lot in the process.
Well, a bit, but you've got to just be a bit earlier pausing on that connection and get on the gas earlier afterwards as well. So we're going to go faster, and you're going to do another second gear change. Do you want to do it with me talking you through or without?
When do you want me to do it?
When you get up to about 2,000 on the tachy on the revs.
Right, okay. Don't tell me, then I'll do it.
Yeah, okay. Don't watch them though, listen. You can glance at them, but don't watch them.
It's getting quite whiny.
That's a good sound. Now you feel that little jerk? You feel that?
No, I thought that was perfectly smooth.
There was a little jerk as you pushed the clutch down because you didn't push the clutch down quite quick enough. Now off the gas. It wasn't bad, but it was a jerk there. So stay off the gas pedal completely now.
Oh yeah, because you said you need to do it quickly so they don't.
Yeah, come off the gas, please.
Catch it.
Thank you. Stay off the gas.
Yeah.
Do this before we run out of road, and you do this bit. So what's happening now? We're slowing down.
Yeah.
What speed are we going?
6.
6 or 7, isn't it? So the minimum speed in second gear in this car is 7. And it just pulls you along. Most cars, it's 6 to 9. Don't look at the oncoming car, just look at your space. And we're going to pull over on the left here. So line up with the curb. You can get that clutch down so it's not pulling you along anymore. There's no one to signal to, and you can stop before the end. That's it. Good line up, well done. No looking down now, try and learn where they are. So when you're driving, you keep your hands on the road. That's it. I'll show you your distance so you know, that's fine. Were you trying to ask me something there?
Yeah, I was going to say, because you need to do it quick
Yes.
to make sure that they don't keep catching each other. You said that earlier.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we're running out of road.
Yeah,
I wanted to explain, I wanted to show you the bottom of second gear in this car. And most cars will slow down to between 6 and 9. Some are a bit lower, some are a bit higher, but that's the majority of cars. Diesels are usually nearer the 9, petrols are normally nearer the 6. And then the engine gets to its minimum speed and it'll keep running. You asked me earlier, will that happen in an older car? Yes, it will still happen in an older car to an extent, but they're more likely, if the ECU, the engine's computer, is going to give you less help, they're more likely to start to struggle a little bit. But they're not going to outright just stall on you like that. They might start giving you a bit of vibration. That's telling you, okay, a little bit of gas. Even some new cars do that. So they're all slightly different. I find Japanese cars tend to help you less than German or European cars in general. That's my experience of them. So any questions about the gears?
No, that's all makes sense. Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you know how to go up the second gear?
Yep.
So we're going to turn the cameras off, practice that, and then we'll move on to the next thing. So we've practiced moving away, we've practiced stopping, practiced changing gear. You're getting fairly proficient at those now without me needing to tell you what to do. The next thing is to learn how to do junctions. And to learn how to do junctions, you need to learn how to walk and jog. If you can walk and jog, generally speaking, I can get you to drive a manual car in most places without too much bother. Now, usually when you come to the give way line at the end of the road, you probably want to get to the line to see if it's safe, and then you want to go. This is where you need to do things a bit differently. You want to keep that give way line in front of you. You want to approach the give way line slowly, like really slowly, so that you have time to do your gear, as well as your steering, as well as your decision, and then time to do the gas and time to lift the clutch up to the bike point to move away by the time you reach that line. If you get to the line, you've got no time to do that and you're going to have to stop, and even on the slightest hill you're going to roll back. So it's best to keep the car moving slowly if you can. So we're going to learn to walk. When you learn to walk, you can do closed junctions, junctions where you can't see very well. When you learn to jog, which is second gear and clutch up, then you can do open junctions where you can see and keep the car rolling at 10-ish miles an hour. So you ready to learn to walk?
Yep.
So you can move away. Hopefully you can get up to second gear as well. And then I'll talk you through walking.
Right.
You ready?
Yep.
You got any questions before you do it then?
We're going to get up to second and then we're going to do the junction at the end of the street.
Well, I'm going to teach you to walk hopefully before the junction.
All right. Okie doke, let's get going then. Gas. Bye. No one there.
Okay. Oh, that's good. See, you're taking your time. You're not rushing. You started to rush a little bit earlier, but...
And I'm going to go for second.
Yeah.
So covering this.
Yeah.
This.
Now he's taking his time. It's coming together. A little bit softer with the gear stick. Off the gas now. And cover the brake and clutch. So the car's going to start slowing down. Unfortunately, we've got these two cars in the way. So I think we'll go around this blue car and then we'll do walking. You can
go a bit
use
faster
a little bit
around?
of gas if you want, yeah. Just get through here.
So we don't take forever.
And then we'll go for a walk before we get to the end. So cover brake and clutch now. And slow it down. The revs are low, aren't they? You already know when the revs are low, the clutch needs to be down. A little bit more brake. Keep slowing down. Keep slowing down. Slower, slower, slower than this. Slower than this. Off the brake now. First gear. This is walking. Now you've got time to steer, get some gas, get some bike point. You've got time to get your pedals.
We're going to stop.
Doesn't matter. Do your gas and bike point.
Are we in first? Yeah.
Yeah. If you did your gas and bike point, you wouldn't stop. So we'll walk at the end now. So we'll go left. So cover brake and clutch. Car will pull you along a little bit. Get the clutch down, get it walking by the mouth. So off the brake now. You see now it's walking slowly? Mm-hmm. Let it walk. Do your turn. See? Get some gas ready.
I'm in first already.
Yeah, you are. Get some gas. Find the bike point to keep the car moving. See? And then steer into your half. So the idea is you get the car crawling slowly towards the line so that you've got time to prepare the car towards the line so you don't roll over the line and then have to prepare. So make sure you're slow enough that you have time to do your pedals smoothly, How much time you need depends on your skill.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to understand here. Just because you're doing that slowly now, that is a learning process. That's not the end goal.
Yeah.
With practice, you'll do it a lot quicker. And you have to understand how long it takes you to do things. And as I said at the very beginning of today, take your time, take as long as you need to control the car. Don't try and drive it as quickly as you drive your automatic. You can't.
Well, that's partly me thinking if I was in my car, I'd just get to do this junction really quickly and it wouldn't be a problem.
Exactly.
It's a bit weird to have to do it so slow, but I understand it.
That's what you're learning. You've got more things
You've got
to
more
do,
stuff to do, yeah.
And if you don't allow yourself time to do it, you're not going to do it. Allow yourself time to do it, you'll get good at it.
Yeah.
You'll get quicker at it without even realising it. But if your car's jerky or you're stalling, it's just one reason why that's happening most of the time. It's not because you're lifting the clutch up too quickly. It's not because you're not giving enough gas. It's because you're not giving yourself enough time. Get your head around that, you'll learn manual. I think you're getting this walking, and I think it's time for you to show the viewers, no pressure, you know what's coming, don't you?
Yes.
So you're going to get to the end of the road, you're going to turn left, you're going to slow down, and you're going to do it really smoothly without stopping.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Should we go?
Ready when you are. End of the road
left.
Zip. I'm going to be quiet now.
Boom.
Brilliant. You see? That allowed you to do everything you needed to do, didn't it? You didn't need me to tell you. Your brain had time to process and do all the actions that I do automatically, but you have to think about. So you need time to think about it. Now walk.
I'm going to give way
Yeah,
to
walk.
this.
Get walking. This is why I like walk, because I can just say walk in these situations and my pupil knows what to do. Remember though, before you go,
First.
take your time now. Now this is where people rush. They think, oh no, I've missed my gear, now I'm going to rush. Don't. Do your gear and move away slowly. So we've come to a location to practice jogging. Jogging is going to help John learn how to do more open junctions, like turning into a branch road from a major road, whereas walking is good when you're coming up to a closed junction where you can't see, coming to the end of a road, the end of a branch road to enter a major road. Jogging is 10 miles an hour, second gear and clutch up. But when you lift the clutch up, you're going to have to hold the clutch at the bike point a bit longer for it to be smooth, because there's more work for the clutch to do when you go down a gear than when you go up a gear. You ready to give it a go?
Yeah.
So we're going to drive down this road, and when it's safe, we're going to practice slowing down and getting a jog. And then there's going to be a road on the left at some point that we will take.
Yeah.
So you can move away?
Move away, and we're going to get up to third.
Yeah, that's right. We need to get up to third gear at least so we can change down a gear. We're taking the next road on the left where the yellow lines are.
Okay.
So mirror signal, start braking, brake some more, get it down to about 10, get the clutch down now as well, and start getting second gear. Bit more brake, hold the clutch at the bike point, so lift it till you feel the connection, no gas. There you go, feel that? Now come off, now steer in. Try and keep it in your half. Look out there, feel where the car's going. That's good, good job. In your half there. So that's jogging. Get it ready a bit earlier so you've got a bit more time, a bit more margin for error. Up to third gear if you can. So we're going to start jogging. We're going next road right, so mirror signal right. Start braking, keep it in your half of the road and get the clutch down, get it into second. Keep braking as you do that though, you don't have the brake, and then lift the clutch up. Keep it in your half of the road, come off the pedals now and the car will pull you along. So now you're jogging.
Okay.
Keep it straight and enter your half of the road, don't cut the corner. That's it. So everything's a jog or a walk. See this up here? Let's say that's a jog. This chicane, these two parked cars. Start braking, start getting second gear. Go to the right a bit more to help your angle to get through. Get second gear. Find the bike point, and now you can jog through this gap. So we've practiced jogging a little bit, and generally speaking, as I've explained, John can drive the car. Whenever there's a problem, I ask John, why was that jerky? Why was that difficult there? And quite often you'll answer, because I didn't give enough gas, or the clutch was too quick, but I think you're starting to learn. What is the actual problem?
Not enough time.
Exactly. And then you're asking me as well, why aren't you taking enough time? Well, the truth is, anyone who starts learning to drive doesn't give themselves enough time. They don't really have an understanding of how long it's going to take them to do things, just to do a parked car or a junction. And when you learn automatic, you don't have to prepare as much. If you learn manual, you learn forward planning and preparation on a whole different level. So that's where I'm going to help John now, is by helping him with his forward planning. And really, that's where you really learn how to drive a manual car. So what's the next thing you see?
Crossing.
Good. That's how early you need to be. There's an island, so you don't have to wait on both sides. Do you need to give way? Yeah, so what I mean by the island, you don't have to wait if they're on the right side until they get to the island. That's what I meant, if that wasn't clear what I said there. Now slow down, next road on the left. So brake more and get down to jogging speed. Harder on the brake, get it down to 10 miles an hour and give yourself plenty of time. Give yourself time to move this stick. A bit harder on the brake, more time, and then you steer in there. So that clutch was a little bit jerky when you lifted it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What could you do to make that better?
Give myself more time.
Slower. But then slow down more towards the junction. What's next?
Park cars.
Move over to the right to see and be slow so you're ready to wait. You can't see everything. There's a blind area. Now you can see through. What's next? Start braking here, because then you won't have to change gear. If you slow down and pass between the van on your right and this BMW and let this oncoming car that's just reversed get out of the way, you see you haven't had to change gear.
Yeah.
And there's less faff, isn't there? That's driving manual, forward planning. How was this lesson? How long has it been? Do you think you've got something out of it? Easier, harder? Tell me your thoughts.
I mean, we've been sat here nearly 4 hours now, and it's been absolutely fantastic. I wanted to understand whether learning to drive a manual would be an absolute faff and just not worth the hassle, or whether it's something you could relatively easily pick up, given, apart from steering around corners, I already know how to drive. And I would say it is a faff, but it's not as, I don't think it's as difficult as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And I reckon I could get a lot better quite quickly.
If you know how to.
If I know how to, and just take time,
That's
sit
it.
and to think and give yourself the time to do the things in the car that you need to do.
And that's kind of the point in this video, because if you're struggling with manual, in my experience, quite often, it is just the person's not taking enough time to do it. I've had people come to me who are learning manual, thinking of moving to automatic, but then I focus on their forward planning and how much time they're giving themselves, and that's when they think, actually, no, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. I kept messing this up time and time again. I just can't get it. I just can't do it. But actually, it's something else that's getting in the way, not the gear stick or the clutch. You said we're in here for nearly 4 hours, but you haven't had that much practice. We've been setting up the cameras. You've probably been practicing for 2.5 hours, I would say. And it's gone very quick, hasn't it?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's been really fun.
And your driving is good. As I say, the only fault I can really pick up on your driving is your left turns at the end of a road. You look right, as I've already explained, you're probably bored of this by now. You look right just as you're turning left, and therefore you don't do the turn. Then when you look left, it's hard to judge, oh, can I add more or not? Then you pull out into the road, and then you do your turn in the road. So you're doing your left turn in the main road instead of following the mouth of the junction and doing it in the mouth like you should do.
Yeah, which I'd never noticed I was doing at all.
Well, if you had a knuckle turn, you know, like when you get to the end of the road and there's no mouth, there's no flare to the junction, that's how you do one of those.
That's how all the junctions are where I live.
Yeah, so you pull out into the road and you big turn to go around. But when you've got a nice flare like that, you should really follow it round so you can get going. It's not a big deal most of the time. It's really going to be a problem usually when you have a flare and you're entering a narrow road, and that's making you go into the wrong side of the road slightly as you pull out, like the roads at the beginning of this lesson. So you think it was worthwhile?
It was absolutely worthwhile. I've been curious to see how it would be driving a manual, and it's definitely answered that question. I think I might give it a go.
So if you found the video interesting or helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you're looking for car insurance, check the links out in the description to Collingwood and Confused. If you're learning to drive and want to insure yourself on somebody else's car, then Collingwood are there for you, because you can do so without affecting the owner's policy. Via the link at the moment, it's up to 35% off and a £20 Amazon gift card. If you want to insure your own car, I recommend checking out the link to confused.com, because you fill out one quote form and get loads of quotes back from many insurers to compare who's cheapest, and you can change your car on that quote as many times as you like without having to do the whole quote again, which is a quick and easy way to compare how much it costs to insure different cars. Using the links doesn't cost you anything, but it does support the channel, so thank you very much. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.